And we're here especially to honor a great American who has spent his entire life giving back to this country, my friend Bob Dole.
All of you have been very much a part of the wind beneath the wings of Bob Dole. It's an honor to see so many of you from both the Senate and the House who are here with the Vice President today, with Senator Dole.
The platoon leader was just filled with shrapnel and nearly lost his arm. But he kept on fighting. And he's still keeping up that fight. And that's Bob Dole.
The World War II Memorial would not exist were it not for Senator Bob Dole. Bob's legislative achievements are legion, and to be honest and accurate, he did so much more as Senate leader, and he gave others the credit for it. The man was and is amazing. His record of public service, this memorial, the honor flights, the Wounded Warriors programs, all of it. The World War II Memorial has become a wonderfully unique place, a mecca not really expected or predicted, where veterans whose heroic efforts and sacrifice did preserve our freedoms now come by the thousands. Some walk pretty slow, some not at all, but they come to recollect, to recall tears, tell stories, laugh, pray, and meet their brothers in a once-in-a-lifetime remembrance. It touches your heart. I know it. I have taken part in these reunions with many others. The wonderful thing is that recollections are now being recorded and printed and understood by high school students for history to come. Bob, Americans across this country tell today's Tom Brookhouse that they sure would like to see those of us in Washington work together, face up to the challenges threatening our very future, and get the job done. Well, you have shown that that can be done. We all come to Washington to make a difference. Senator Bob Dole did just that, and with this memorial, so much more.
Long after wars come to an end, long after the welcoming home parades have ended, long after the streets are renamed and the monuments are built, our nation's obligation to those who sacrificed so much will endure, must endure, and must be recognized by all Americans. And I'm absolutely confident that Bob's feats and his generation's feats will endure, because the deeds of Bob Dole and Danny Inouye and others in this room are all about what all that generation stood for.
You may not know about the countless letters and phone calls he's responded to from family members of veterans, asking him to write or call a loved one in need of encouragement, or the fact that for decades he has quietly visited patients in veterans' hospitals and veterans' homes all across America. You may not know about the hundreds of times he's welcomed right here at the memorial his fellow World War II veterans traveling on honor flights, and the hours he spent with them, sharing stories and, yes, some tears.
I'm speaking for all veterans, and I speak about the plaque and what it means to me. I share that view, I think, with millions of Americans, millions of veterans, there's 25 million others. But I want to most of all thank the citizen soldiers, the farm and city boys, the factory workers, the recent immigrants, as diverse as America itself, for all you did to preserve civilization when it was most endangered. It's hard to believe that 7 years have come and gone since we dedicated this memorial on a spring day in 2004, when the temperature was about 75 or 76. A little better day than today, but today really hasn't been so bad after all. But since then, we've had countless millions of visitors. In my lifetime, I've seen walls go up and walls come down. I have seen planes flown into buildings and organized hate and confused murder with martyrdom. That's not all that I've witnessed. For mine is the generation that banished polio and Jim Crow, invented the computer, and left footprints on the surface of the moon. I once described myself, this was in '96, I should have forgotten that. Described myself as the most optimistic man in America. And how could you live through what I have and be anything else? 66 years have passed since another April 12, when Franklin Roosevelt's great heart gave out the little White House in Warm Springs, Georgia. That morning, he put the finishing touches on the Jefferson Day speech to be delivered 2 days later. And it said, "More than an end to war," he wrote, "we want an end to the beginning of all wars. Yes, an end to the brutal, inhuman, and thoughtfully practical method of settling differences between governments." To some this might appear visionary, but not to the leader whose last words were appropriately words of encouragement. The only limit to our realization tomorrow will be our doubts of today. So let us move forward with strong and active faith. Like President Roosevelt, we can all pray for a world without war. No monuments in the meantime. We can all thank God for those qualities of courage and character, service and sacrifice that protect our freedoms and dispel our doubts. Let others imagine the worst, and I am still the most optimistic man in America. Thank you.